Greetings, programs! Welcome to Writing Wednesdays. The goal of Writing Wednesdays is that we have a place that we can come and write or just be inspired. Um, I will give you 10-minute sprints and you can write yourself silly during that time. If you want me to read something on that you've written, you can either send me a message in Discord or you can post it to the screen in the chat and I will read it for you because uh, I'm the one here. Um, Good to see you, Mr. Guy MM. I hope you got some rest, and if not, I hope you at least enjoyed what you were doing while you were doing it. uh, so this endeavor is still in the process, but eventually the goal is to get everything together for this. Uh, Give me a second. I have to grab something. Well, that is good that you are doing good and I'm back. Uh, yes, very, very, very excited about this new ongoing adventure. So the current story that I have up is called Last Bites, and I figured since we were in the month of October, this is a supernatural foodie murder mystery novella that is in the process of being written. And I am personally excited about continuing forward on it. But I know that other people write different things. I just happen to like food mysteries, and I happen to like, werewolves, vampires, um, some of the undead. Not all of them. I mean, there are members of the undead community that I'm just like, yep, I'm gonna give you your space respectfully, and I'm gonna keep mine to myself. But yeah, so I figured um, I would ask you guys what all you like to write, and ghoulies are alright. I just don't want them, kicking it with me. Um, well, this is Writing Wednesday. Greetings, programs. Welcome to Writing Wednesday. Since it is the traditional hump day of the week, I thought Wednesdays are a good day to kind of get our brain reset and do something entirely different, i.e., writing. So if you like to write, be it poetry or soliloquies or even a random thought in passing or grand novellas, I encourage you to come be here and do the 10-minute sprints with us and just write whatever you're inspired to write. But yes, that is a thing. Are you in tears? Why are you in tears, Shika? I can't tell. Are you crying or blushing? Or blushing and crying? And that's hard to tell sometimes with those. Um, but yes, so this is my way of reaching out to those of us who are writers and saying, hey, I'm encouraging you to write. So yes. So our first sprint, because I know people are still popping in, will start in about 3 minutes. Um, well, the great thing about it is all you're doing is writing whatever you want to write in 10 minutes. And then after the 10 minutes, when you're done writing, you put done in there so I can know you're done. You don't have to share anything. I will only read if somebody sends me something in Discord, or puts it in the local chat. So you don't have to have anybody read anything you don't want them to read, okay? This is not a you have to do this now. This is a nope. All you're doing is writing in your own space, in your own private little bubble. Nobody's invading it. I promise. Um, but yeah. But that said, I went ahead and put a channel in the creative space in our NPCs Only Beyond This Point Discord, which means if you do want to share, you can share it in Writing Share. That kind of weirdly rhymed in an oddball sort of way. I would love to get a Haku bot, so whenever we say something, it could just pop up with the Haku that we accidentally made because that would be fantastic. Um, but yeah, so don't panic. I give you a 10-minute sprint. I tell you when it's starting. You write for 10 minutes, and then we go. So all you guys got to do is bring up whatever format that you write on, whether it's Google Docs, whether it's I use uh, I can't remember, OpenOffice and Google Docs, but I first and foremost use OpenOffice. And there's another writing program that I use online that I'll look up for you guys later that I personally enjoy using. Um, but it costs money to make, covers, stuff like that. And Notepad is great. Yep, you can use Notepad too. Um, it's October, Shika. Dark Things is just fine. I'm working on a booty murder mystery, so with vampires and zombies technically, and various undead and horrible things happening to said undead. So yeah, you know what? Dark Things is okay. But if it's like extreme violence, or if it's things of uh, darker tones, psychological and other things like that, you should probably put on a spoiler in case people have triggers. That would be my humble suggestion. But outside of that, because there are chapters in Last Bites that I would have to put spoilers on because they are very, very dark, very psychologically heavy, impacting themed. So yeah. So, but yeah, you can share things you've already written. Everybody can. And that's why I put the writing page in there. So, okay, and that's it. If you want it looked at, if you want it read, if you want it shared, you can send it to me in a DM, and I will read it if it's appropriate. Well, I guess I'll know when I read it. So, um, for my happy little programs that are here and ready to roll, you will need to get out whatever electronic paper you use, and then your handy dandy little fingers for your writing, however you choose to do that, because I will start a sprint. And while you guys are in the sprint, I will look at what Chica sent me so we can see if it needs tagged or not. Uh, if it needs some warnings on it. Warning: do not cross yellow line. And then so once you guys are ready, go ahead and let me know in the chat that you're ready, so then I can start the sprint. And then we can do some writing, and it'll be just really nice. Writing, writing, writing gets our head all full of spice. Because as the writing goes, the spice yeses must flow. Yeah, I'm kind of in a Dune headspace today. I'm okay now. Um, I've been very, very much waiting to be able to do this again. I wasn't able to do it last week because of internet problems. Okay, cool. And you sent it to me, right? Oh, there it is. Whoop, there it is. But if you guys are ready to do the 10-minute sprint, just let me know, and so I can start it. Because if you don't say to me, yes, I'm ready, I won't be able to start it because I won't be like, what are you guys doing? I'm glad you managed to be mostly awake for this too. Okay, Mr. Guy MM is ready. Shika, are you ready? And I know we got another lurker. I'm excited. Love it when you all lurk. Okay. So, okay, excellent. That's okay. It's alright if it's hard for you to do anything new. Um, then I'm gonna go ahead and start the writing sprint. I got it. I would simply state, if you're okay with me sharing it, um, that it has um, aggressive violence, and that would be the warning I'd put on it. So, because outside of that, it's 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 intense, but it's not. It doesn't have other themes in there that I would have to put trigger warnings on. So, yeah. So, if you decide to share it in the writing channel, all you would have to do would be, trigger warning in uh, intensely aggressive violence, because it's more psychological, but it is also physical. So that's how I would trigger it. That's how I'd put the warning on. Yeah, we have a writing share. Isn't it great? I did that today. And I reset a whole bunch of, what do they call that? Protections or permissions, so that now those things should work right. Yeah, we got a new channel in Discord. You'll find it in the creative space, and it's called Writing Share. And I did an announcement on it. So, yeah, good times, good times. I'm glad we've got our Discord server. But yeah, okay. So, Mr. Guy, MM is ready. I'm ready, and Sheikah is popping things into the writing shirt. And I didn't actually know, Sheikah, if you um so you want to put it as intense, um aggressive violence, because it's not mild, but it's not out and out hardcore, but it is intense. Do you want me to write it for you? I'll put this in local. So you want your your trigger warning tag. Nope. Intense, aggressive violence. That's how you should write it up in there, so people are prepared that it's going to be that way. Anytime. Uh, I believe that when you do spoilers or trigger warnings, it's a chance to give a person to prepare themselves before they look at something, because that way it didn't sideswipe them and they made the choice to click and look. Um, I think that was a very good thing for Discord to add when they did. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so one till. I'm gonna go ahead and start our sprint at 12:20 so that we can at least get 10 minutes in. And we will probably go we'll go till 12:30. So, and if you need any more help, you go ahead and ask me, because again, this is gonna we can dump this into our writing channel. So this is a back and forth thing. So do not feel bad about it. It's all good. It's all good. We're doing great. I'm excited. My stuff is very very long, and I write both poetry and I write um, stories. In fact, several members of my family are writers, um, uh, and we co-write together actually. So I've written a couple stories with Jareth, and a couple stories with Alessia, and I've written they're all in progress. I've written a bunch of my own stories, and then I've written I co-wrote in it's in the process. Me and Humbert and Jareth are co-writing a story set in Victorian England. So I guess it would be more considered a fan fiction because it's involving, movie slash um, book characters. I've always wanted to do a co-written story. You know what? I encourage you to do it, because it's one of those things of you learn a lot, and you get inspired by. So yeah. Oh, we're at 2021, so we're running a little behind. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start our. Oh well, we're still talking, so I guess it's okay. You know what? There's the thing. Um, the great thing about writing is there's nothing that ever says you have to finish what you're writing. Okay, I can start something, I can truck halfway through, um, unless it's a game review or a poem or a really 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 short story. I find it exceedingly hard to finish the story because I don't want it to end. It's like how I am about playing video games. I don't like to finish them because I don't want it to end. So I struggle with finishing a video game. I struggle with finishing a story. But it's okay to keep it going. It's okay to keep it going. But understand, in doing that, you also can have burnout, which means you lose that inspirational spark. You lose that which motivated you in the moment. The spark will always be there, but the thing that motivated you to start writing to begin with has dissipated because you're on burnout, which is why a lot of people will get to this point in their story and never be able to get to the final part. Well, it's hard. It's the creators of Final Fantasy are writers. They're writers. They're world builders. They're 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 artisans. They are they do what they do and they're good at what they do. Um, right? And you stretch it out, stretch it out. I have several stories that started as one scene or one moment, and they became something else entirely different. This one right here, um, Last Bites, was actually a tiny little bit in a book in a what was supposed to be a cookbook that I was going to make called Alistair's Little Black Book of Cooking. Because my main character is Alistair Claremont, and he's a vampire. And he's a fey vampire, so he's half fey, he's half vampire, and in the middle of there's a little bit of human mixed in, and I don't even know where. And then his business partner is a coven, um, a um, a raven shifter, Fey raven shifter, and his name is Eric Faraday. So Eric Faraday and Alistair Claremont run the catering company Sweet Tooth, and the insignia for Sweet Tooth is a mouse biting something with fangs for the T on sweet and the H on tooth. So it it was it all started out as something a little wonky, and there wasn't even there. It was so when the second book in the series kind of came out of Alistair's little black book of cooking. uh I was like, oh my goodness, wait, where am I going with this? Oh wait, it's doing its own thing. Oh wait, okay, stop, gotta, I, yeah. So, but this one actually, so the first one, which is Sweet Tooth, it introduces you to the main company, and that setting is in New Orleans, and then this setting is in Canada. So, um, the original concept of the catering company was it would show up after somebody or something died of supernatural causes. Um, so I'm trying to still tie that in because it's not that the company shows up, it's that the boys show up when somebody or something has died of supernatural causes. So Alistair has this knack for he loves food more than anything in life. And he's artisan. He loves to cook. He loves cooking, whereas Eric loves baking, and so that's why they're co-owners of Sweet Tooth, because they catering is part of that. Um, but yeah, hey, little story, where you running off to? Why don't you come on back, or at least take me with you, or at least tell me what you're doing. Don't be like Owl. Don't tell me what you're not doing. Don't just do your thing and be like, yeah. But yeah, so that this that that's the thing about stories can can inspire other things, or even like when I started writing poetry, it was actually kind of unintentional, but it happened. Right, what you up to? Stuff. Okay, well, what's happening, you know, inside of you right now? Stuff. Will I get to read it? No. But I'm the writer. What? Yeah. So all the good stuff. All the good stuff. Ah. Okay, so I know, believe it or not, we are trying to get to a sprint here. And now we're nearly at the end of the sprint. So we're gonna aim for another one in about 2 minutes. But no, this is good. But you know what? Sometimes that's okay because if we're afraid of of what we have to say, it's better that we zone out and our brain is just allowed to do its own thing. Um, so my family is actually writing two stories as like we're all contributing, and the first one is called Shattered: Residents of a Fragile Mind, and then the sequel to it is called Ground Control is Gone. Yes, that's a direct David Bowie quote. That's a from you know Ground Control to Major Tom. But yeah, but it's okay to just to let the writing do its own thing. Um, and you don't have to. They talk a lot about pansters and plansters and all the stuff in between. Here's the deal: you write when you are there to write. Like when your brain goes, okay, I got to do this right now, then you write, or you draw, or you game, or you talk. That's how it works with the mind. So I will be reading what people are comfortable with me reading if they share it with me. So that's the thing. I won't be reading it if you're not comfortable with me reading it. I won't be reading it if you don't share it. That's so yeah. Um Yay. Yay. Do. Get it to read people's stories on stream. I'm excited 'cause that means I get to share all those neat things. Um, you know what? We're going to be doing this every Wednesday. So I assure you, it's good. Um, I like the one you sent. And if you want me to read it, I will totally read it right now. So you give me the thumbs up or the thumbs down, and I'll go ahead and give the warning with it before I read. So, but yeah, if you want me to read it, I will happily read it. Not a problem. Okay. All right, then, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to, before we actually get to the sprints, um, I'm gonna read what Shika uh, shared, and I will let you know in advance. It has the trigger warning is intense, aggressive violence. So you are warned in advance for those of you who cannot handle violence of any nature. You should probably turn your volume down. And when I am done reading, I will put done in chat, in the local chat, so those of you who are watching can know that it's good to go. So that's how we'll do this. I'll go ahead and bring this up and I will start to read it. Okay? No, don't do that. Gonna big screen this bad boy. Okay? Shika, does this have a title? Or shall I just state it as untitled? Oh, it does have a title. I'm good. Sorry. I'm good. I'm a dork. Okay. I present to you The I present to you Inner Thoughts as written by Shika von Teskian and shared with us here on Writing Wednesdays. His head lowered as though looking at the ground, bangs covering his face so all was hidden but his mouth. Slowly, a sinister smile falls across his only shown features. Shadows formed and shifted around his form like pitch black snake flames reaching from the void at his feet, causing a dark aura to form around his body. He had been hurt one too many times. His limits reached. Slowly his hands lifted. The dark aura seemed to concentrate around them, before dissipating to reveal two dark blood-red blades that were almost pure black, only a shimmer of color visible in the black that surrounded him. The glowing demonic red through his bangs still covering his face, his eyes, the once soft sunset gold that sparkled in the sunlight at the sweet words spoken to him, that showed with much love to one he had thought loved him. Now all that was visible was the demonic red of pure hatred, pain, and bloodlust. This once fragile soul, now a broken husk of its former joy and laughter, now the only laughter that came was the sinister laughter of a broken mind. Body slumping to one side before arching backwards with a sinister laugh. Hair falling from his face to reveal the pained and shattered look on his face. Tears stained his cheeks, falling from wide, blood-red eyes that suddenly focused on the one before him. His once beautiful smile now showed of the broken mind and soul within, swaying from side to side as his head fell forward again, as if looking to the ground once more. After a few minutes of swaying from side to side, silence fell over the area as his aura flared once more as he listened to this person talk, trying to apologize when it was useless. Oh, give me a second. We continue on. He had been hurt one too many times. Was there any hope for this broken soul? Could anyone save him from the darkness creeping into his mind, from the voices giving him sinister plans to carry out? His answer would have been no. But you have proved him wrong. The moment you stepped into his life, the moment you touched his hand, unafraid of the rage and insanity that was clearly visible. You matter to someone out there. You matter to me. Your words rang like a sharp spear through the darkness of his mind, the very same darkness he found himself curled up, curled up in. All who had spoken to him hadn't gotten through the darkness. Talking normally or shouting didn't seem to work. You came along, and with a voice so quiet, pierced the darkness to the body within the mind hiding from the pain and hurt. That voice, that quiet voice, so loving, so true, that voice so familiar yet unfamiliar. He matters? To who does he matter? Questions flooded his mind. Fear and pain entered his fragile soul. Tears before tears. I lost that. Tears before him. The same one that was unafraid. The one that saw love in him that even he couldn't see. A gentle hand on his, forcing the blade gently from his grip as it vanishes from view. Blood-red eyes slowly fading back to the soft, beautiful sunset gold. Tears poured down his cheeks, the broken, shattered soul now visible through his eyes. face twisted in pain and sadness as he falls to his knees in silence before throwing back his head, a heart-wrenching scream of pain tearing out of him in a cry for help, arms softly wrapped around the shaking shoulders of the unresponsive male screaming his pain to the blue sky, demanding to know why he was hurting, why he was cursed to feel the pain of not only himself but of that of others around him or that he knew. Why? Why was he cursed to live? You matter to someone out there. More importantly, you matter to me. Those words again, that voice piercing the darkness. It was you. It was you who called me from this pain, from this darkness. Okay, wow. I could see why. I was like, yeah, this is intense. This is, but it also talks about aggressive violence. So, um, Shika, I personally think that was well written, and I feel that we write what we know, and I felt that was heartfelt and it's really intense. You're an excellent writer. Your writing voice is extremely strong. So I'm glad you shared that. Thank you. And I'm glad you let me read it. So yeah, it was amazing and I hope you're not embarrassed and hiding in a corner, which I'm sure you probably are embarrassed in hiding in a corner. So there's that. But yeah, anytime you guys want me to read something on a writing Wednesday, all you gotta do is send it to me. And um I will happily read it for you. um well, I what can I say? I would, I do have one other goal that I haven't succeeded in doing yet. I've always wanted to read books to tape, and I used to read the Breadwell stories to Owl and to Duckhead and to Ripper Red, and I miss doing that. Um, and you guys know I like doing voiceovers, so you can't expect me to just read something flat. That's not how this works. Hey, Rosu. It's great to see you. I am not embarrassing Shiga. I am sharing his excellent heartfelt writing with the community. So I'm sure he's flailing, blushing, probably crying, and doing all the things. Fan fiction is still writing. It counts. I don't care what anybody says. Fan fiction counts. Fan fiction counts. Fan fiction is writing. That's what it is. You're inspired. You're doing the thing. It's writing. Right? Oh, Lucky Star. Remember those books? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Shika, please say something about your story. Please tell us about your story. Please about this, about your inner thoughts. Big Man was awesome. Big Man was very awesome. Uh, you have to think about it this way. Every time we watch a sitcom or something on TV that's an ongoing series, you have a team of writers who wrote that story. They collaborated to write that story. Or, one, two, three, four, sometimes 12, which means there's so many cooks in the pot. But they wrote that story. Okay, Shika, we'll let you speak. You've got the floor. Tell us what you want us to know, and we'll excitedly listen. Man, I'm feeling so much better about this one. This is a good one. Oh, please do, Rosu. I would love that. In fact, I will totally be also talking about the different fan fiction pages, places, the different places I personally write, um, or have written, uh, or my family members have written. So, written on the different websites that you can actually go to put your fan fiction or put your writing or whatever not. There are some great ones out there. There are also ones that can get hacked. Um, um, Archive of Our Own is a great one. Fanfiction.net is another great one. Um, the controls for fanfiction.net are easier, I think, than Archive of Our Own, but that's just me. So Sheikah says, I, oh, well, I thought that maybe I could get the thoughts that run through my head on paper, and then maybe people could get a peek into the inner workings of a mind from someone that has went through a life of abuse, only to be saved from someone stepping into their life at random, unknowingly saving that person with a single word or phrase. Well, I always go by the thought of words have power. You have a choice of whether or not you're going to harm or you're going to heal. And even offhandedly saying something to someone can do a ton of damage. I.e., great examples. Owl offhandedly says things all the time. He doesn't feel he has to be accountable for the words that come out of his mouth, but he does. But he's far more, shall we say, studious about the things he writes because he's also a writer. So I have to look at him and say, well, if you're going to be, good to your characters, you need to be good to the people you talk to outside of that because words have power. And he's 14. It's like in one ear and out the other. I should just shoot an arrow because it'll just straight on through. Um, Not that I would ever shoot an arrow at Owl. He is an archer, by the way. He's an archer. Ripper Red is an archer, and Duckhead is an archer. And me and Duckhead actually used to compete. Um, uh, so yeah, we very much enjoy archery. That's a side note. Ooh, see, see, we're inspiring each other. I am so proud of you guys. I'm so proud of you. Did you know also that when you write, the moment you start writing, whether you start and then you never do it again, you've already changed the perspective of how you see your world. When you draw, even if it's a one time and you never do it again, you've already changed the perspective of how you see your world. Having any type of, I guess, dabbling one's toes into any field of being an artist, writing, drawing, painting, um, anything that's art, and music is the same way. If you've ever played an instrument, if you've ever sang a song, you've already changed the way you see things. You've already rewired the neuron pathways in your brain. It's really cool. Okay, awesome. Yeah, even acting. Yep. Um. Uh, how was my hip? It says hello. Let's check this out really quick. Okay, I'm gonna take over hair. Yeah. Again, I liked what you allowed me to read, Sheik. It was very good. It was very excellent. I think people that write, even if writing is the only way they can communicate who they are inside, it's a very powerful tool. It's a very powerful tool. Okay, I want to go there. Click. Do 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 do. Ooh, look, new one reds. Anytime now. Anytime. Here she is. What do we have here? I see we have some new things. I'm excited. Let us look. Okay. So, oh yeah. So, paragraph writing is, I think it's a very solid thing. I'm the type of person that can easily write 1,000 words in a paragraph. Now, understand in places like IMVU, that's like that's a wall of text. So you have to learn to truncate, but still have a decent chunk because you have people that really are invested in those wall of texts, and then you have people that are sitting there going, "What did I just get hit with?" So there is that. Um, yeah, but and also seeing what you're. I always like to think of it this way: am I physically capable of doing this? If I'm physically capable of doing it, then I can physically write it in. If I'm not physically capable of doing it, then I'm not going to write it in. Um, and that's one of those things when you're dealing with magical beings. You have to know what their limitations are and what what they're fully capable of. Um, so if you say like have a magical character and you know the moment requires him to turn into something he is not feasibly capable of doing because he only has one way he transforms because that's all his magic allows him to do, then you can't suddenly turn him into say like a fox because he's not going to be a fox. He's going to only be able to, he's only going to be able to say like turn into an owl or take his normal form. Those are the things his magic allows him to do as a shapeshifter. And we have a new follower. Welcome, welcome. Glad you're here. Come on in. Join us. Join us please. Um Yay, new follower. Doot 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 doot. Um Shika says for me if you want to write in paragraphs, I need something to work off of. Uh, and by the way, actually, that's a good tie-in to this because when you co-write with somebody, it's like writing paragraphs. You need to be able to bounce off of them. You need to have something to interact with. And when you read what your co-writer has written, if you can follow their lead or they can follow yours, that makes good world building. That makes good co-creating. That makes good being able to. Oh, sweet. Tell Harold I said hi, and sorry about last night's mustache incident. I hope it all works out, and tell him thanks for the pickies. Yeah, but yeah. So and think about co-writing. If you want to co-write with somebody, then ask around. Don't be shy. It's okay to ask around and be like, hey, guess what? We're co writing today. Or I'm looking for a co writer. This is what I write. Um, so, or you write something up and you say, hey, can you write something that matches this? And if so, would you like to co write with me? There's a lot of different ways to go hunting for a co writer. Or if you just like the way you're already RPing with somebody, then you say to them, hey, let's write a story together. And they'll be like, hey, that sounds amazing. Or they'll be like, so, but here's the thing. You should try your own world. That's a good thing. And don't be afraid of that. Seriously. Because when you try your own world, you are stepping beyond the fan fiction that inspires you, the stuff that inspires you, you're stepping beyond it and you're taking what you like and making it your own. You are so inspired by what you like, you've made it your own. And that's a good thing. Um, See, that just sounds amazing, Rosu. Um, I can officially say that on many platforms I have sparred many times. But what helped me, and I say this because again, I go back to you write what you know. What helped me was that I sparred in real life. As a member of the Society for Creative Anachronisms, I'd learned stage fighting, I'd learned battle fighting, I'd learned Lance Connect fighting, which is German, German, Bavarian, and a whole bunch of other stuff combined in because they stole from everybody. I learned traditional broadsword. I learned archery for shooting. I even learned some mild horseback riding, and I'd learned I'd done some training as an apprentice to several knights from the Seattle Knights, and I had done some basic blacksmithing and glass blowing. So I could sit there and comfortably know what my body was capable of, so I could comfortably know what I could write my body was capable of. Therein, I already I already psychologically knew what my unseen, that body, that that written body was fully capable of. So I wasn't breaking any rules and I wasn't writing anything wrong. I was writing exactly what I knew. Now, there's nothing wrong with being able to do far more in written literatural context. It's great. In fact, it adds so much. You add so much flavor. But for me to know I could do certain things and actually do them meant my mind was already going, okay, well, this person's moved here. So I'm going to move here, do this, and do this, do this. So my mind was already in a strategical mindset while I wrote. So it no longer was role play, it was actually happening, which is something as a writer we actually do. We play these sequences out in our mind, and they can also be very powerful because then they are imprinted memories for later. So they happened, even if they didn't quote happen in a quote in this particular plane of living way. They still happened because they did happen in a plane of existence. Sorry, my brain was like. Shika says, for me, since my brain never shuts off, every little thing I see in the world gets turned into a story, even the things I listen to. So I have music, I can create a scene on paper almost in vivid details. Music is a powerful tool, people. It is an emotional changer and it is a game changer. If you can write with music, do it. If you can write with white noise, do it. If you can write just by looking at a chair and going, oh, that wicker just inspired me about an entire forest scene with a mouse and a mushroom and some squirrels that were fighting, do it. Write it. Believe it. Make it a reality. Because until you do, all they are is just little dots in your head floating, waiting to be brought out, waiting to be breathed into existence. Right? Exactly. Okay, so if I want to write um, heavy stuff and I need music, then I use heavy music. If I want to write um, fun, whimsical, or serious stuff, then I pick the music that's appropriate for it. Because sometimes I need music and sometimes I just need the quiet to just get in there and do the thing. Um, so it's really about what works best for you. Writing is not the only thing that limits writing is us. If we feel like we have the block, then we're going to be hitting that wall. but the spark, the inspiration never leaves. You still have it. Shika says that's another reason I want to try co-writing with someone to get those ideas out of my head because they pile up and overlap and makes it hard to even RP, which is easy for me. Okay. FYI, RPing is also writing. So you know, in case you didn't know or in case somebody told you otherwise, RP is still writing because you are even as it is both writing and it is both real. It is a situation that is happening and it's a situation that you're breathing into existence, but you're writing it. So it has validity as a literary power in and of itself. It is story crafting. Yes, it is world building. It is phenomenal cosmic power. I'm okay. I'm okay now. But yeah, no, it's fantastical stuff. Um, I don't consider myself an RPer, but I do consider myself a life liver and a world builder. So if I walk into a scenario and people are quote RPing around me, I'm like, oh, oh, we're world building. Don't mind if I do. I'm okay now. Yeah. Space. Um, okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you didn't know it, Shika is looking for a co-writer. As you've seen, his writing voice is quite solid, and he is in need of an assistant. So, if any of you are interested in co-writing with him, I humbly suggest you let him know, because that way you all can get the show started and start writing. Tell him it was a pleasure to have him here and a pleasure for him to listen to our shenanigans. Oh. So I guess Harold isn't included in that, but Shika, in all seriousness, is looking for a co-writer, a co-author to write stories with. So here's that, peeps. Here's that. Um, we never did get to the sprints. Oh, and I have a meeting very soon too. So ah, you know what? That's okay because I think that we all got we did a great chunk today, and I think I'm hopefully encouraged you all to not only get yourselves in in a headspace that helps you write, but to know that if you want to share stuff every Wednesday, all you got to do is send it to me in Discord, and I will read it, and then we'll go from there. Because I think that's awesome. And again, Chica, thank you for sharing. Um, we have the right share in the Discord, so share your stuff, guys. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I have been writing since 2010. I have been doing short stories, game reviews, poetry, and some of my stuff is actually published, even though the WordPress sites don't exist anymore because it's WordPress and sometimes they're like that. I used to also write and publish my stuff on LiveJournal. Also, that's a strange site these days. But great writing stuff. Great. So writing platforms I've used, writing websites that I've used personally. Um, I have an archive of our own account, but I still haven't figured out the controls to post things there. Fanfiction.net. Um, Jareth uses and he's enjoyed a lot. There's another writing site called Quote V, and it's QUOTEV. It's all lowercase. He wrote there. Jareth wrote there a lot as well. Um, and then there is There's a really good one that trying to remember that you can actually post your stories on and that you can save it for later. And it's actually transferable to other platforms. I think. Oh, let me check right here. I can tell you what that one's called because that one is actually one that you can put your stories on that are in process. And uh, Google Docs is a great program to use for just writing stuff if you have Google. And I personally use Open Office for my stuff because I don't have Windows Word or something like that. Hold on, I'm trying to find the thing. My Story, mystory.com. My Story is a great little website that allows you to use it on more than one platform. I have several stories there. It's not the same setup as, like, say, fanfiction.net or some of the other ones, but it is a good one. Um, I currently have what looks like one, two, three, four, five, six, six or more. Oh no, there's a lot more. So, so my family and I both use this. So I can officially tell you right now that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 stories that have been put on this um, that we are using to transfer back and forth between the tablet and the computer. And it's good. It's a nice place to be able to, if you have a tablet and you can't always get to your computer, it's a great place to just be able to write. Notepad is great as well. I fully encourage people who have Notepad to use it. It's good. I, with my allergies, cannot use traditional paper anymore, not for long term uses. So I do a lot of my stuff on the computer these days. As you can see on the screen, the current thing that is up is, of course, Open Office, and it. For I like the page format, so for me that has worked excellent. Um, uh, D&D girl who has been on here before, she's the one who actually helped me set it up so it has the 2-page format. Um, and then I will make sure that for those of you in the Discord, there's a list of places you can go if you want more than one option of where you want to post your stuff and websites that I have personally found safe to use or with less hackers, if I could just say it like that, because everybody's hacks. But yeah, no, my goal today was to let you know that to get you get you excited about writing. And again, remember, poetry, passing thoughts, anything like that, it's all writing. It's all writing. And I want you guys to be able to have fun, enjoy this, and be able to to join with me on these grand adventures. I personally love it. So, uh, um, this has been one of those days. But yeah, no, my brain just left. So yeah, I will make a point of posting the different websites myself and my family use for places to write, and I look forward to seeing what you guys write. And if you post something in the writer share and you want it read on the live stream, then put a little thing uh, in brackets and says, "Live, read this on Wednesday's live stream." And I'll be like, "Okay, I can do that." Hello, Evil Kitty. How are you? By the way, I want you to know that your chicken, the egg, is still thriving, quite happy, and has a great hat. Um, but yes, no, it's exciting. My brain just left. I have a meeting at 1:30, so I'm thinking that if you guys, yeah, right? See? Your chicken has done well. Not only is it being a wonderful chicken, head of its own coop, it lays eggs, it's well behaved, and it's being very friendly. So the friendship between our girl Ellen and the chickens is definitely, getting up there. So I just thought you should know that the egg is doing quite well, quite well. In fact, it wants to eat more than it wants to be, clean, but that's okay too. Everybody needs to eat. Yes, we are definitely having chicken milk. It is on the regular. Every time I pet it, I get some chicken milk. Uh, that is probably exactly what you wanted to hear, right? Uh, oh no, don't worry about it, Rosu. Um, when you get lost, somebody's gonna find you again. You'll be just fine. Just follow the right rabbit, and you'll find your way home. Um, but yeah, Evil Kitty, welcome to Writing Wednesdays. So the tentative goal has been to just get people motivated to write, and to just enjoy themselves and to not be overwhelmed. I keep trying to do 10-minute sprints, but we get caught up writing, and I did share some stuff already. So don't worry, the rabbit is the GPS. I assure you. White rabbits are always the GPS. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to take you in the right direction. It just means they're going to take you in a direction. Uh, um, you know what? I think so they traditionally say that if you're going to read something on a live stream, 8 maybe 10 minutes is a good thing. So your story in particular was about an 8-minute read, which is decent. So if you do something like that, just count the words you had for this and then do things along that line. And that'll help be a good guide. But yeah, cuz when I was live reading in Second Life, which I'd like to go back to, uh about about 5 to 8 minutes was a good set. I'm not ready for any of yours on stream. What does that mean? I'm not ready. You gotta explain. You can't just say that and then leave me hanging. Come on. You gotta tell me. Waits for Rosu. Sees Rosu typing. Typing, typing, typing. Why can't I read any of yours on a stream? Here's the thing. We can do things in parts. I'll read part one this week. I'll read part two next week. I'll read something like that. It's called, or I can alternate. It's okay. You know what? That's the thing. It's called teasers, friends. Teasers. So this week we're going to read part one of Rose's da 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 da. Right? That's how this works. Thank you. Chapters. Right? Thank you. Yes. I will happily read your chapters. Not a problem. That makes me to see. Okay, well, you know what? Why don't you think about it? And again, we have the writing share in the Discord that you can totally put stuff in, and then I can read through it and I can see how long it is. And then I can see whether it needs to be a two-parter or one-parter, or it can be, read as it is. Episode 2289, The Big Battle Part 900. That's awesome. But Mr. Gaia Mem, it needs to be over 9,000. Speaking of which, I tend to, when I do write chapters, I try to aim for them to have 5,000 words. And the reason I aim for them to have 5,000 words is because I want to make sure that it's a decent chunk to read and that people can stay there for a little bit before they move to the next chapter. But that's how I am. I'm very OCD about that. Last time on Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. Yeah. Those voice guys, man. Those voice guys are amazing. You can send it to me. It is fine. Oh, so that's okay too, because sometimes I write in chapters and sometimes I don't. Um, Sometimes I write in chapters because I have to break up situations that are happening. And if I don't want them to happen right after one thing, then I have to put them in for later. Also, don't get rid of any of your work when you're writing. Don't delete it. If you don't like it and it doesn't fit in that section, put it aside for later. Deleting it means it's gone forever and you can't use it. And that's brain work that you put into the story. So always put it aside for it later. Never delete. Even if it's a monkey dancing around, wiggling its butt at people. Don't delete. Save it for later. There might be a moment where that's an important key to the story. Just saying. Just saying. Um, but yeah, you don't have to write in chapters. That's the thing about being a writer. You are not tied down to what any other writer does. The only thing that limits you is you and what you believe that you as a writer are capable of doing. Okay. All right. Again, if you don't know what tags you're gonna need to put on it, you can send it to me. I'll look through it and then I'll advise. That's how it works. Um, I know for Last Bites, um, one of the chapters is extremely violent. It is extremely violent. So if I share it, I have to say extreme destructive violence because it is. It is violent. Um, but that's okay. We're here now. We're all, I see it as you're all starting fresh. You're my fresh, young spring fall chickadees. And you are here to make magic happen. You know, um, so you're gonna write and you're gonna make wonderful things. And if you're uncomfortable about something, you can talk to me about it. And if you're not uncomfortable about something, but you don't know how to word it, you can talk to me about it. I'm not an end all when it comes to writing, but I will share with you what I know. I will gladly share my knowledge. And if you learn something you haven't done before or knew about or it helps you, hey, great! I think what I'm writing now will not need tags. I'm writing it in a way that it could be a script of an ordinary comic book. Yes. Yes. Speaking of which, I'd like to get back to panel work for comic books because I enjoy doing that. But I am not a good artist in the sense of I don't think of myself as a good artist. I am still an artist. I just don't think of myself as a good one. It's good because you can always expound on it. You can always make it bigger, make it grander. That's why when I start to write, I always put in a chunk of words and then I expand on it. If you look at some of my that's the wrong thing. Come over here. If you look at some of the stuff here, when I'm writing, I have things like, you know, this is a small chapter for me. It's at 1,576 words. And it says here, aim get to 3,000, then aim for 5,000 because it's a small chapter. Um, Further up, there's different places where I hadn't written in a while, and I dated it because that helps me know where I'm at in my headspace to write more. I picked this one so I could actually show you guys, some of the progress. Like, um, the top again. It's a little over 1,000 words, but that shows you guys that there's things always go in process. Writing doesn't do itself. You, the writer, do the writing. And if you come down here, you see I've got a lot of side notes. I've got edits. I've got things that I've taken from over here that I've put in for later. I also have a soundtrack for Sweet Tooth or Last Bites. That's also a soundtrack for Sweet Tooth. Um, I have side notes on every single character because it adds more to the world building. I have even stuff about different things that I use chemically in the stories. So I make a point of researching things. And I talk to people. I talk to a lot of people. Like, one of the characters I'll be bringing in later is the alchemist. And he is in honor of Jeffrey Cook, who passed away. So he is, and Jeffrey Cook was a writer who inspired me to do a lot of writing. I have I think almost all of his books, and they're signed, and he was a member of the family, and he was amazing, and I will always look up to him. So I wanted to honor him, and his the alchemist's name is Henry Phelan Leacroft, and his friends call him H.P. Lovecraft. Yes, I really wanted to tie in because I love Lovecraft. So I was like, well, I don't want to say Lovecraft, so he's Leacroft. Um, and then his familiar is Dr. Cross, and he was a house cat that had been changed because of the alchemical experiments that the alchemist was doing to him. So there's a lot of stuff that I sit there and I look at different chapters. They tell you write, write, write. So I write, 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 and then I go back and I edit. You shouldn't technically do that, but I'm OCD. So I have to do that for me. That's how my brain works. Um so yeah, this is me rambling. But I I have to have things organized in my own personal writing because that helps me have a when you so like any artist, if you're going to make art in any way shape or form, you need to have a space to make your art in. I like to clean my desk before I start. I like to clean my desk before I start arting. So I take the time to organize, futz, and clean my desk, and then I start to art. It also helps my mental space have a place that I can come back to, which is why everything is organized, which is why there's side notes, which is why there's things done in the world building that isn't going to, of course, be in the story proper, but it might eventually be referred to. Um, so I'm always excited about the stuff I'm writing because it allows me to do a lot of research. But there are rabbit holes that you fall down in when you do research, and you can be stuck for days doing research, which doesn't get any more writing done, but it does give you great ideas. Um, I would encourage you guys that if you are writing something and you get confused, do a little research because it helps, it inspires, and it motivates. At least to me it does. To me it does. I've researched everything from words to vampiric dust to how to make bone meal yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I know that if the FBI ever went looking at my search, they'd be like, yeah, right. No, no idea what that is. Not research. Yes, I'm hoping they never look at my search history, so they're not sitting there going, "What were you doing?" Feel like I wasn't making bombs. I just need to know how to do things. Hi, Suki. Hey, welcome to Writing Wednesdays. This is where we get together. We do 10-minute writing sprints, which haven't actually happened today. But and I share stories or poems or little um, blips of stories that people send me on Discord. So yeah, the things I've researched. Most of the things I've researched have been oddball science facts, like the diameter of the. Oh, that's cool. It's expensive. Don't want to talk about it because it's expensive. My brain will not. Will be like, nope, done. um, but yeah, one of the things in here, come back down here, that I ended up researching was um. Let's see if I find it. I had to find things that would make sense in my world. Um, and I had to make sure that when it made sense, it was not something that was intentionally taken from elsewhere. So not only did I have to research what I was what I was planning to put in my story, but I had to research whether it had popped up anywhere else and what format it popped up in. So in my case, because I don't want to plagiarize. And when you're playing in the world of vampires and werewolves and ghouls and undead and all that supernatural worlds, you already have a copy of 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 a copy because people do write about this and they write about it in mass. So when you're writing stuff that involves vampires, especially vampires, it's hard not to plagiarize. It's hard not to come up with an idea that somebody else has already had. So they're going to be like, oh, well, you took that from my story. And I'll be like, dude, I never even read your story and I didn't even know it existed. Um, there is a Minecraft server. Yes, there is. It's a Minecraft realm. Do you have Java? Well, I need to be in the waking because I'm in the waking. Then I can get stuff done, and I can host the Writing Wednesdays, and I can live stream video games, and I can. Oh, your vampires are vulnerable to gunlight. That's epic. Um, mine are. Um, we don't know yet what is killing my vampires in my story, but it's bad. Whatever it is, it's bad. And it's not quote the normal sunlight or anything else like that. It's bad. In fact, it kills them so hard that they turn to dust. Yeah, it's like oops, which is very traditional vampire lore. I know. I've done. Sheesh, man. Um, Mr. Guy MM. Back when we were in high school, one of the big things I did a lot of studying in was vampire lore in the leadership class. That's what the leadership leader was like. You're really into vampires, aren't you? And I'm like, I just want to know what's going on out there. He's like, okay. I actually did um an entire um what is it? Not report, but like a whole write up and presentation on the lore of vampires in the leadership class that first year. I'm sure they thought I was weird as all get out. I don't care though. Okay, so you got Java. You don't know? Okay, well that's what Skindex is for. So we can help you out with that because I built Chico's skin. We can help you with that. And if I can't help you, then Owl can help you because he's also well versed in that. Yeah, I did. I wrote up an essay and then I did a presentation because that was required in the leadership class that first year. So yeah, yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing, my friends. Uh, but yeah, no. So I will let you know that will I'll probably keep doing this story for the month of October. Um, anything that you guys want to do, like say NaNoWriMo or stuff like that, we can do that as well. I am totally up for doing stuff like that. Um, I've been doing NaNoWriMo for several years now, so like 5 or so. Um, yeah, Shika can help too. It'll be great. I should probably eat. Well, okay, so I guess as much as I don't want to, I should probably wrap it up here. But here's my homework for you guys. Um, Azuki, reach out to us in the chat on the Discord, and we can help you with the skin. And then we can also get you into the server. Uh, and for next Writing Wednesday peeps, if you're game to go and ready and raring, put all the stuff you'd like me to read in the writing share with the quotations or brackets or whatever around it, those these thingies that say laws. Read this in the live stream. And then if you have any questions on how it should be, if it needs any tags or if it needs to have any warnings, then let me know and I can read that in a DM. That's fine. But come prepared to talk writing if you want to, or talk anything if you want to. I'm hoping to actually start doing the 10-minute sprints, which we successfully sidestepped. So proud of you guys. Um, and yeah, so my brain. But I think we accomplished a lot. I think we accomplished a lot. I'm excited, and I'm excited to see what you guys put in the writing share on NPCs Only Beyond This Point Discord. Because yes, that's a thing. Um, and probably should eat some lunch. What? Lunch? No, not you, Laws. Yeah, lunch. Yes, it is time for me to refuel. Wow, yeah, you got the clue. You got the clue. Um, so yes, I'm gonna go refuel, and I'm going to prep myself for the rest of the stuff that needs done today. But feel free to share. And again, I will make a point to put into the writing share the websites that I use for writing or have used or that my family has used that we thought were pretty decent. And because again, it goes back to, whatever works best for you. There is another one called Wattpad. Now, I know people have used that for the phone and for the computer. It kind of reminds me of Quote V, but Quote V kind of reminds me of. So I feel like Quote V is kind of like they combined Wattpad and fanfiction together, fanfiction.net together, and I feel that AOS, Archive of Our Own, and fanfiction, are chunked together, and then Wattpad and Quote V are chunked together, The notebook one is just kind of like a place for your stuff kind of privately because I don't know if you can actually post stuff there for other people to read, but I could be wrong. Um, I started I started I started watching Jareth do stuff on Wattpad, but then but he started it to follow Ripper Red, so um, but yeah, no, don't be shy. Oh, and of course NaNoWriMo because that's a great place that you can upload your epic covers, and that's actually what got me into making book covers, guys. Was writing stories for NaNoWriMo. And when I made our first our WordPress authors page, Jareth and I have an authors page on WordPress. Don't worry, I'll share that too. Um, and that's when I started making book covers. And that opened up a whole new world of both hardship, challenges, and feeling very accomplished. So, and actually, Ripper Red's hand is on one of my book covers. So, yeah, I do some things. Um, and Ripper Red was asleep at the time, passed out on the floor. So I was like, hey, there's hand on my floor. This is great for Sweet Tooth. Um, but yeah, FYI, in both Sweet Tooth and Last Bites, death is commonplace. That's just what happens. That's just what happens. Um, so yeah, but they're murder mysteries, so death is gonna happen. Just saying, but they're foodie murder mysteries, which means they are a slice of life and then some. Um, I'm okay now. Um, so yeah, I'll make a point of putting in a list there for you guys. Yes, this is I'm giving myself things to do. But if I give things to do, if I give myself things to do, then I give stuff to you guys. Right? uh it was the gin in the restaurant with some magical smoke. Yes. Slides this way slowly off the screen, pretending like he didn't actually say that. But yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I should eat because my brain is saying it all the way around. So yeah, no. Uh, yes, I'm excited. Azuki, get a hold of us in the casual chatting, and we will guide you into the Java realm. Rosu, I'm hoping that you are able to get Java for Minecraft very, very soon. And I'm going to put all the stuff in writing for folks in writing. Don't worry, I'll pin it so it's there for you guys can look at, see if you like, and use. And if you're not ones for writing online, that is okay too. Remember, some things you don't have to share. Like, you could just share it with us if you want to, or just keep it to yourself. That's again the good thing about writing. Writing is an outlet. It allows us to have a creative place, a safe place to vent what our brain is processing. Don't forget that because it does help. And sometimes your brain processes far more than you know, and it's easier to handle things when you have a place to be able to go and start to work again. But yes. Okay, well, programs, until our next live stream, which will probably, and I hope, be at either 5 or 6 p.m. tonight, I will see ya around. And I'm gonna go eat. Yeah. Thanks for being here, guys.